Going into, I would say, the next important character who I didn't think would have as much screen time as he did, Lex Luthor, or Lex Luthor's son. Okay, first off, I would say, I know there's a lot of critics out there and a lot of people that really hated the casting of Jesse Eisenberg. Again, and I'm not just talking out of my ass, when he was cast, I was like, that's a weird choice, but I'm okay with it. But I'm okay with it because Jesse Eisenberg, even though he's a little bit weird, I think, as an actual person, is a great actor. He's a great actor. And I was like, you know what? Wouldn't have been my first choice, but I'm cool with it.
It's a role he can play.
I'm cool with it, and I think he can nail that, especially in The Social Network. He can nail that stuck up, rich, kind of a little bit crazy prick. And he does.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, the other thing. I know a lot of people have said that they hated him after seeing this movie. And this is not their Lex Luthor, and he sucks and everything else. For me, he's one of the highlights of the movie. And that's personally my opinion. You could say you don't know what the fuck you're talking about or anything else. Be glad to. You know, just be respectful in the comments below. But but I'm saying he's one of the highlights for me. And, you know, we were a few other people with your brother. He said the same thing. Like, he is not, you know, he's Lex Luthor's son, even though he's playing Lex Luthor. Right. But he is the son. So right off the bat, I think they're showing that they're trying to, you know, differentiate themselves that, hey, this is a little bit different of a character. I'm cool with that, even though he got the bald head and the, you know, the hating Superman and stuff like that. You also have to realize that this is not, you know, the classic Lex Luthor that we hear from animated series, you know, voiced by Clancy Brown and stuff like that. That's not that Superman. The one that's super sophisticated in public and keeps himself together, and then behind the scenes he's this maniacal motherfucker that hates Superman. No, this Lex Luthor is unhinged. And even in public he's giving a speech at the party, he can't even contain and get out the words that he wants, and everyone there could be like, this guy's a little off,
exactly. Right? Like when they clapped, they kind of looked around like, that was a little
this
weird.
Guy's a little off. Like when I have a feeling that when the news came out that he went to prison, they were like, yeah, we're not surprised.
Yeah, right.
Like where in the comics or anything else, you're like, holy fuck, Lex Luthor's going to jail? Oh, please, he didn't do that stuff. He's being framed by the government or by the superheroes. No, you would probably believe this Lex Luthor did that shit.
Yeah, completely different Lex Luthor.
But I liked it. Jesse Eisenberg was unsettling, and like there's scenes where, like, especially that scene where he's talking to Senator Finch and he's tapping the desk, you know, imitating, you know, the horses riding up of, like, you know, 1 by land, 2 by sea, like doing the, you know, whole Paul Revere thing. That's unsettling and fucking creepy.
He's very creepy.
Okay, and that I really liked.
Well, I'll tell you, again, this is a comparison coming from someone who doesn't know the Lex Luthor from the animated series and the comics. I thought he was really good. I liked his character. As you said, he's very creepy. And he had some lines of dialogue that made me just kind of chuckle.
They're chuckle, but they're sophisticated.
Yeah,
and they make
that's
sense.
why. Yeah, exactly. And I thought his dialogue was really well thought out. The one problem I will say I had with Lex Luthor. Now, did you read the reason that a lot of people hated him? Was it because, I know you tried to stay off spoilers. Was it because he wasn't similar to how he was in the animated show?
Most people just they thought that Jesse Eisenberg was playing an over-the-top version of them, and they just felt it was too different. That was, without going to spoilers for me before I saw it, that's all I saw.
Okay, that's fair. Well, a big thing that I didn't like, it never, unless maybe I missed it, got really well explained why he hated Superman so much. And there was a point where I actually thought, you know, again, you can laugh at me, I thought he was at first like a Batman enemy. And then I talked to you after and he's like, oh, right, he's a Superman villain, not a Batman villain. Yeah, which, I mean, it's not that I didn't know that, I'm just, you know, I'm fuzzy on the background of a lot of characters. And so I feel like as someone who doesn't know a lot of characters.
You're not alone in that boat. Majority of people who go out and watch these movies don't know what the fuck.
Exactly, they don't know a lot of the
We're a very small minority.
And I'll tell you, but people like me, we still love to see these movies because they're very enjoyable. And, you know, maybe not, this one wasn't as like an Avengers enjoyable, but it's still, you know, again, it leaves you wanting more, which is a good thing. Definitely.
It's a look to the future.
Exactly.
And I'm excited for the future of Lex Luthor.
Yes.
Which is something I was afraid I wasn't going to say after this movie.
Yeah, and I'll say, just they didn't do a great job explaining, you kind of explained it to me, but you said, again, that's what you got from it. It might not be the case.
Call me up, bro. I'll help you out.
But, you know, I just feel like they didn't explain why he hated Superman well enough. And that's just the minor gripe I have with Lex Luthor.
The thing I took from it, and I agree with you, I just took from it that it was similar to Batman.
He was kind of scared.
Is that he's scared. Is that, yeah, if this is a Justice Lord situation or an Injustice Gods Among Us situation, no one's going to stop Superman. He can fucking kill anyone he wants. And if he wants to go crazy, like in that nightmare scene that we'll get to, he can do that.
Yeah.
Like, so I can understand that he could want to give a deterrent and be proactive. And that's what he was trying to preach to the senator. And I get that. But it was just, he was just this creep factor but he showed how intelligent he was, that he's able to pick up the Kryptonian knowledge and get into the ship and know where this stuff is and learn that Superman's Clark, and like you could tell that, and it's been known by far Lex Luthor is the smartest person in the DC universe, and it looks like they're going to continue that in the movies.
Yeah,
and I'm happy for that.
Yeah,
and I really like that.
Him.
I would say transitioning, I guess, into the what the fuck moments that we could also include Doomsday in.
Okay.
Even though we've seen him in the trailer.
Okay.
First, what the fuck moment for me is the Capitol building in the Senate hearing. It blows up. Lex Luthor literally commits a terrorist attack, even if they can't directly tie it to it. Kills Mercy from the Superman animated series, his assistant, and fucking kills the Senator Finch and every fucking person in there. He kills everyone. I leaned forward in my seat and was like, holy shit! I did not see that coming.
No one saw that coming. That was something. And I'm surprised looking back on it. They didn't put that in the trailer. Just the Capitol building blowing up. All kidding aside, that was a really good scene. For me, a moment that I really want to understand, and you don't even understand. You know so much more than me. Is during that nightmare sequence.
When Bruce,
that whole nightmare
the
sequence.
first one. When Bruce, do you mean the first one where Bruce falls asleep?
Yes.
Like
yes.
at the computer and that guy comes.
Yes,
to talk
while
to him?
it's decrypting. Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right.
And you got first of all, you have all of these Superman soldiers that have his symbol on, shooting, and Batman's fighting them, which you don't really understand.
It looks like he runs a vigilante group.
Yes, exactly. And so Batman now that's the scene in the trailer when he's chained up. You think that's part of the movie. I mean, that's what they lead you to believe. So that's cool how in the trailer they kind of misguide you a little bit. Like you think at some point Superman captures Batman,
right.
But that's all in a nightmare. So that was actually a positive I'll take from the trailer. I've been ripping on the trailer a lot.
I mean, the only thing for me, that was a positive for you. The only thing for me is that was spoiled for me because Popco Toys and all that shit released a Nightmare Batman Popco toy.
Oh.
Literally dressed like that, where it had the Nightmare spelled with the K. So I was like, well.
So you knew it was a dream.
Oh, well.
So maybe it wasn't.
And I wasn't even looking for it. It was just I was scrolling Facebook and someone posted it. I was like, motherfucker.
Those spoilers. The most annoying thing. And then
that was like 4 months ago, too.
Superman comes down and puts his hand in his stomach, and they don't show it, but he just rips through.
Well, also when he comes down, not only the people kneel to him, the two people that were chained up on the side of Batman, he fucking uses heat vision and straight up murders them.
Yeah. I mean, it's brutal. And then then you have this guy who you think it might be the Flash. I mean, you can get more into your theories on that. Comes out and is just kind of yelling like, Lois is the key. Lois Lane, Superman's lover. Don't kill Lois, which confused me but it's talking about a future movie because Batman never had a choice whether he was going to kill Lois Lane or not. So it's like as if Superman became crazy, as you said, which does happen in some alterations, I should say, of
in different dimensions.
Yeah.
It's happened.
Where Lois Lane dies, Superman goes crazy, and he takes over the world as a villain. So, which is all what you've told me. So that scene in particular, one of the coolest scenes in the entire movie.
Could point to the future.
I don't even understand it, but I crave the knowledge to understand that scene. This is coming from someone who doesn't know anything about comics.
That's what we say, right?
Yeah.
About this movie. It makes you look forward to the future more.
That was one of the most, and you even, I think because you thought originally it was Robin, because you originally when that started,
I was like out of my seat. I was moving up, I was rocking.
I didn't understand what was happening, but I thought
I was trying to stay as quiet as possible.
Right, but then you were like, I think I misread that initially. But you please give your theory on that.
Okay, so when it first happened, not only did I not expect it, and the white light comes in, the first thing is, it looks like it was a red mask that opens up. Like a metal mask that does, the famous Red Hood clink. So I was like, oh shit. It's either somehow a future, read that Batman is seeing of what's to come. Or maybe in this universe he's met the Red Hood or what. Like, all these thoughts were racing through my head and I was like, what the hell is happening? Or like, I thought maybe he was having a nightmare that even though Robin, Jason Todd, was dressed as Red Hood, he didn't know what that meant.
Right.
He was just seeing Jason Todd, the Robin he couldn't save, dead.
Right.
So I was like, oh, what the hell is going on? And then I was like, wait a second, that looks like Ezra Miller, which I'm pretty sure it was. And I'm pretty sure that was the Flash, which means that I guess this universe's Flash is very militant and has armor and a full-on face mask. And so, the Flash shows his face.
Yeah.
He has a mask.
Right, I've seen it.
But you have the eyes and the mouth and stuff like that. Kind of like Batman in a way, just even more inviting.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hero in the light, right?
Right.
In Central City. This looks like a full-on fucking Red Hood face mask. Then he comes in and he's in this white light where usually the Speed Force is yellow. But I guess this is the Speed Force, and he looks like he's coming from the future, telling Lois is the key that.
You can't let her die.
Right, so I'm assuming in an alternate timeline, my theory is, when Batman has Superman with the kryptonite spear over him, something must have gone wrong in that fight when Lois shows up, as she always does, gets herself in situations, and somehow Batman, either purposely or I would think more accidentally, kills Lois, and that's what makes Superman snap.
Yeah.
And that, I think, was what made
Right, because he says right before he rips through Batman's sword, he says, she was all I had and you took her from me. And then he just
so he said that you took her from me.
Yeah.
So that
probably accidentally.
Right, so that makes me think that was the Flash warning against that reality. I don't know. Or was that pointing to a future movie? I have no idea. I literally have no idea.
That scene alone, out of the 2 hour and 30-minute movie, is makes me crave more of this.
No idea.
But it just sucks you have to wait 5 years for all these movies to come out.
The other what the fuck moments for me were him mentioning metahumans, and then he researches it a little bit, but then Diana going into it, and she's clicking on because she probably thought she was the only one that she was like this. All right, Superman's an alien, but she's a metahuman. Obviously a little bit different, from her island and stuff like that, but we'll get to that later. But to see the Flash symbol, and to see this, the Cyborg symbol, and the Aquaman symbol, and and her symbol,
and
all in these
short
files,
videos,
and she's clicking on these videos, and you see the Flash and Ezra Miller, he's just in a convenience store, and he saves a clerk, from a robbery at gunpoint, quick, bang, bang. And it's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Those are awesome moments.
Yeah.
Or to see Aquaman, I don't know how his eyes lit up, but it looked like, just a crew, sending down, little drones and submarines, just, looking at a wreckage. And Aquaman's in there with his fucking trident.
Yeah.
And he destroys the camera and just fucking speed bullet swims out of there. Awesome.
Yeah.
Or to see, Victor so fucked up clearly after his accident, and his dad struggling so hard to remake him. And then the part I don't understand that, because I'm not deep into the Cyborg lore. I mean, the most I know about Cyborg is from Teen Titans, which is probably most people from my generation. But I know he's more part of the New 52 more than Martian Manhunter, which is a disservice. But anyway, when Victor's dad opens up that box or whatever, that almost like a Frankenstein monster that seems to work on Victor.
Yeah.
That's a what the fuck moment for me. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I don't want to wait till 2020 for the Cyborg movie. Explain to me right now.
I know.
What the fuck is that?
It leaves you craving more.
So those were what the fuck moments to me. I mean, do you have any thoughts on those scenes there?
I enjoyed them. As someone who did, I didn't realize it was Aquaman. For some reason, I thought it was Poseidon. But looking back on it, but it is kind of silly, because why would they have Greek gods and Greek mythology in this? But that's what it reminded me of: the trident, the sword.
I mean, there's a lot of gods.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so nothing's
consider Wonder Woman a god.
Yeah, right. So didn't even realize that was the Flash in the video. Makes sense now because of the super speed.
Yeah.
And then Cyborg, I knew absolutely nothing about. So those videos didn't really make much sense to me. Looking back on it now, though, really cool, really awesome. And so, they were just, it was good. It had a lot of good cliffhangers that you might look back on after in 10 years and say, wow, that movie gave away a lot without really giving anything away.
This is the jump point. It was the starting point.
Yes.
We might say
that. And they did a really good job in that aspect of the movie.
Or we might say this is the beginning of the end. But anyway, I like to try and be optimistic.